I guess it all started as a child. My parents would take me to places like this, and I would be either fishing or just seeing what's happening on the shorelines. And they would take me to places where on the Brador, and I would, as a child, of course, I would be patrolling the shorelines, fishing, and just seeing what critters are happening, what's going on, the activities of the animals, the fish, the birds. And I guess what came out of that was the spark. I guess
Mm.
it I didn't know back then I was building my knowledge base on nature, that it could be used in my future. But I ended up going to college as a mature student, and the work with the integrative science program there, the MSIT program, brought me back into nature. And it all that knowledge and all those things I remembered as a child, I brought it into the classroom. And it kind of like, I can't say kind of like, it really gave me a good repertoire of traditional knowledge, the way I was brought up, the way I was taught, where the elders would teach me to observe, respect. It led into my education eventually in a formalized sense, and I was able to weave the traditional knowledge of my ancestors, the knowledge that came from my lifestyle as a child, into the classroom where they brought in the modern Western scientific understandings. So for me, it was it allowed me, I guess, the ability to dance in both worlds, to use my traditional knowledge, to use my upbringing, and to use my sense of awareness in this beautiful place, and formalize that in an education system. I think that allowed me to develop a very strong sense of what two-eyed seeing is about, without actually calling it two-eyed seeing. So eventually, what happened was, in my life, I ended up working. I didn't finish school. I ended up getting job offers. As a back then, a young single parent,
Mm.
a struggling student. You kind of have to go with the flow sometimes. So I left college and started doing work in natural resource management. I was hired by the Unama'ki Institute of Natural Resources to work not only as a knowledge holder, but as a facilitator of using traditional knowledge, using the modern Western scientific knowledge, and build a management plan for moose using that type of understanding. So my work today, I guess you can say we're the trailblazers in traditional natural resource management, using the two-eyed seeing approach. A lot of our planning, we have to look 7 generations ahead to make sure that our decisions we make today is going to positively impact the next 7 generations. That's pretty well basically unheard of in government. Pretty well basically unheard of in industry, and even learning institutions for that matter. So the Mi'kmaq way of looking at things, we see things in patterns. I look ahead 7 generations, but I also look back 7 generations as well. Is the work I'm doing today, is it going to make my ancestors proud?
Mm.
7 generations back. Here I am at a point in time, using the knowledge of my ancestors to take us or guide us into the future. I have to make sure that the work I'm doing is going to make them proud as well, and make my future grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren proud as well. So it's the two-eyed seeing and the traditional concepts and modern Western scientific knowledge. Use that every day. use that in my work. It's my guiding principle, and it allows us to show the way for other other agencies. UINR is probably, I believe it's the most popular, I guess. I don't know if popular is the word, but we are recognized as leaders in using the 2IC approach, and as having our own Aboriginal management plans that government says, wow, that is something we never seen before. That is something we can work with. It got to the point where working with Parks Canada, federal government, and working with the provincial government at the Mi'kmaq, because we've taken this approach. We are taking the lead on a comprehensive management plan for moose in Cape Breton, that we use the best of the capacities within the Mi'kmaq communities to lend to this management plan. We also use the best capacities of the provincial government, what they can bring into the management plan, and we also use the capacities of the federal government, especially through Parks Canada, on what they could do and what they can provide through this comprehensive management plan. So really, it's a great thing if you have the Mi'kmaq leading the way to work with government to do things where ecosystems and where species within the ecosystems. In my case, it's moose, but it's much broader than that. Using this knowledge to manage the future, and I think it's a bright future. I think what we have going is something that I guess it's a snapshot into what can be done. What can be done using 2IC and using a traditional management approach, where everything that's built within and around the thinking and ways of knowing of our ancestors, bringing that to a boardroom with government and working together and coming up with very distinguished and practical deliverables. I think that goes a long way.